We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers. Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. We got 24 hours of insanity ahead of us, possibly more, most likely more. Hey, everybody. It's Stuttering Craig. Glad you guys have found me today. Glad you found all of us because we had a great show lined up for you guys, including me getting exposed. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a great show. Hello, Blabs.
Hello. Is this your demise show?
This is it. After all these years, today's the demise show. That's right.
That's exciting.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It flew by. It is exciting. That means I may get this channel after. I'm just saying. But
Blabs, I want to let you know that if I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Why? What did I do? I'm out of. Leave me out of this, bro. I'm innocent. I don't even know you. I am not associated with Stuttering Craig. Not associated.
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are. How'd you get here?
Who are you? Who are you? I don't even know who you are, mister.
How'd you get this link? You didn't invite you.
Who is this guy? Well, I'll tell you what, we do have a great show. By the way, how's your play button, by the way? Can you show everybody your nice little play button?
Yeah, look, I got a new mirror, guys.
Look at that. Woo! How fun. Look at that. So pretty, so nice. Way to go. Way to go. I got mine back there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good stuff. Good stuff. What can't, like I said, I can't wait to get you the big assuming I survive today, Blabs.
Yeah, assuming you survive your demise.
I know. Can't wait. Well, speaking of demise, I'll tell you what someone who can't wait to take me down in glorious video form. It's Yellow Flash. Flash, great to see you, buddy. How are you?
Good. I was just working on my thumbnail. It says exposed in big yellow letters. And I even stole that picture of you with your hands on your face. I'm going to put that on the thumbnail. You know, the one we have over your eyes. You took it from DJ Cobra.
Yeah. It's straight. Hold on. Let me give you a better one real quick.
Oh my God.
Is that good?
That's great.
The internet giveth.
Stuttering Craig.
Stuttering Craig is actually stuttering already.
Yeah, I know.
You notice that?
The Home Alone
I know.
face.
What is going on?
Actually,
I think I'm gonna have to switch off. I've been using. Okay, hold on. Let's bring Desiree in, and Blabs, you welcome Des in, and I'm gonna reset
right,
because here's the
go
thing.
away,
I'm gonna
Craig.
get
Just
out.
go away. You're like 2 minutes behind. It's fine.
This is
Just
dumb.
disappear. Listen, I'm booting him. There you go. I booted him. Okay. Anyway, hello, Lady Desiree.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. I really like your background, by the way. I was noticing.
Oh, thank you.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Did you take that photo, or is it just like?
Oh no, just some random wallpaper. I wish this is what my garden looked like.
This is actually Lady Desiree's garden, guys. You just don't know it. In Skyrim or something.
Actually, I can't I actually have a garden background. You know what? I'm gonna put up. I'm gonna show you. I can do it really fast, actually. I'm gonna show you. This is my that's my actual back. That is my backyard with my own chickens.
You know, I like that one. That's good. You got your chickens and everything.
Yeah, let's do that.
There you go. She's got her chickens. And then we have Jake Gyllenhaal also up there. But for now, let me just grab these super chats and wait for His Highness to get back with the internet. John says, today's episode is dedicated to Peanut, yes, and Fred. Everyone forgets Fred.
He was one of the good ones, Peanut.
Right? Yeah, we We have a whole conversation about that later. Six String says, watch out for this one, Craig. She's a little crazy, but she's an awesome human being and a talented musician. Be sure to check out Des. The atmosphere she creates is filled with comfort and compassion.
I love Six Strings. Six Strings is the best.
Yes. Lady Desiree's links, by the way, guys, can be found in the description below, as well as Flash's and everybody else's. Honey Badger says, hashtag justice for Peanut and Fred. Exactly. And Minor Zircon says, latent flash for $2. Well, actually, it was Craig's fault that we were late. See him.
Yeah.
It always
we
is.
were all on time. And then Craig was like, you know what? It's a good time to go and grab a water bottle and powder my nose. And he left at 12 on the dot.
You know what it was, actually? Can I tell you exactly what it was? Can I be honest with you?
You had to take a shit, didn't you?
No. We're gonna get some storms here in North Texas, and my dogs always freak out when there's storms. So I got the puppos laying behind me. I had to gather the dogs, so they're hanging out behind me right now.
Let me see. Where's the dog camera?
We don't have dog camera. Sorry.
Still, this is your demise stream.
I'm
making it happen.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I sound better, I look better, and all this
Yes,
stuff. You know,
you're back with us now.
Hooray! Great. Well, look, we do have a great show lined up for you guys. Once again, we're live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Do us a favor, hit the follow button over there as we're closing in on 10,000 followers, which is excellent. We also have an X account over there, which you could have found out that Des and Flash are going to be on the show, which is phenomenal. Follow us over there, and you can watch the show over at Side Scroller Pod. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do. So follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, Desiree is going to send her chickens onto you, and they're going to attack you. And you don't want to get attacked by chickens because their talons are super sharp.
Let's see.
You got to hit them with the sword a few times before they start to attack you.
See, that's a Zelda reference right there.
Roof, fly with them through the air. I love
You
it.
can use them as like little gliders too. It's great.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have scars all over my forearms from actually chickens attacking me at work once. So yeah.
Wow.
Are you sure it's not from you?
I'm not
cutting
even
yourself?
emo, guys. I'm not
I was gonna
self-harming. It's just chickens.
Slicing and dicing over here.
See, they're all here. Like I actually was like super cut up once because these certain breed were like Freedom Rangers, I believe they were called, or something like that, like Freedom, and like the big brown ones. They are feisty. They jump. Anyway,
I don't care.
I am surprised that men do not like me talking about cocks. Anyway, it's fine.
Well, if you would have opened up that way, we would have certainly allowed you to say more. You said chicken. So we also have a Kick account over at kick.com/sidescrolls. Make sure you guys go over and follow Des over on Kick. She is growing over there with her wonderful musical talents. We'll make sure her link is down below so you guys can find her. If you guys like music, which I know you do, Des is a maestro when it comes to that stuff, and she does all sorts of requests and all sorts of great things. So, isn't that right, Des?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Good. Well, we also have the audio version of the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and we have a brand new Side Scroller Shorts channel. If you want to get little out of context clips, you can find us over at Side Scroller Shorts as well. We don't make any money on it, but it's funny, so that's good.
Yeah, and I learned how to title stuff too.
It's good. Every day, Blabs, you're learning a little bit more.
It's not 011279 anymore.
Yeah, it's not .mp4.
Right. Of course, we want you guys to head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com, become a supporter over there. It's a great place to support us. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff in 2025 with that. We want to get through November 6th. First and foremost, before we start talking about plans for next year. With that said, if you're new to us over here on YouTube, join the make sure you hit the subscribe button. Join the 106,000 normal men who have found common sense in the video game space. And let's get our goal of 1,337 likes. Of course, today's show is brought to you by The Real Game Awards at therealgameawards.com. I'm going to encourage you guys to go over there and become a month or a voting member over there. And let me tell you why. Because right now, over at therealgameawards.com, we almost have all of our categories available. They'll be all up by Wednesday for you to vote on. The latest two categories for you to vote on over here, check this out, or at least to nominate: Worst Game Journalist, Best Game Journalist, Husbando of the Year. Look, you can nominate in all these categories here. But I figured if you guys really want to have your voice heard, go over there and go to nominate over at the worst video game journalist. So it's over at therealgameawards.com. Just having a good time with video games, huh? So
worst journalist that has to go to Alyssa Mercanti.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, use promo code Alyssa and get $5 off, ALYSSA, and get $5 off your annual membership, your annual voting membership over at therealgamewars.com. All right, we got a lot going on today. Blabs, why don't you fill us in on today in video game history?
Okie dokies. November 4th, everybody, is Ratchet and Clank releasing back in 2002, making it 22 years old. We have Tom Clancy's End War releasing back in 2008, and then we have Call of Duty Ghosts releasing back in
One of the worst.
2013.
Call of Duty Ghosts is a piece of shit.
I agree.
Really feel.
Yeah, it's not the best. So noticeable games that you missed today, Blabs, include The Lion King for the Sega Genesis, which people loved that game. You guys,
how is that not in there? And you put Ghosts.
So listen, because Call of Duty
Ghost
Black Ops
sucks.
6 is out, I've been just going hard with the Call of Duty stuff.
lots of Call of Duty.
Yeah, especially tomorrow.
Railroad Tycoon 2, Blabs,
I've never played it, but it sounds like fun.
was released in 1998. Glover was released in 1998 for the Nintendo 64, an underrated classic, as you will. Also, Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly, released for the PlayStation 2 in 2002. Lord of the Rings.
I can't defend you this week. You've been on a roll lately, but you really dropped the ball this Monday.
I know, but listen, this is basically Flash. We have this as an audio file. It says Yellow Flash yelling Blabs.
Blabs! Blabs! Blabs!
In 2004, Zelda The Minish Cap was released on today's date. And Blabs, I'm very shocked. Roller Coaster
Minish Cap came out today?
Yeah, I know. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 was released today.
I didn't play the third one. I only played the first one.
But it's
I'm
not
an
about
OG
what if you-
brother. Listen, I picked 3 different games, all different, okay? And you're just giving me a hard time.
Resistance Dawn of Man 2 was released for the PlayStation in 2008. Man, there's a lot of games released today. Holy shit.
Exactly. It's very hard to pick just 3. So I went with 3 random ass different ones to try to appease somebody. And turns out I appeased nobody.
Resistance, is that the Alien game?
Yes, that was the game.
Oh, those are great.
You know, I'll tell you, I went
Another
back.
dead Sony franchise they do nothing with.
Dude, right? Like that's a game that should be that's a franchise that should be brought back 100%.
Is November the most popular month for games to be released?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
definitely.
sense.
Got to get in for that fourth quarter. I'm looking at a different list today, Blabs, and it has way more games than we usually look at today. But
aren't you cool? Look at the list. Wow, fascinating. You can
hey,
read.
Another noticeable game, Blabs, released 4 years ago today.
Is it like some waifu one?
Released on itch.io, itch.io. COVID-19, the final disease.
You should play that someday.
What about monkeypox?
Oh my God, that's brilliant stuff. Anyways,
Play that on the Players channel.
well, yeah, that'd be great. Well, thank you for that, Blabs.
You're welcome.
Wonderful stuff. Also, 60 Watt came in with the $10. Says, I don't care if I get mocked for rallying behind a squirrel and trash panda against government overreach. No one should ever F with a person's family, even if they are furry. Oh, we're gonna get into Peanut. We got some strong feelings on Peanut over here. And Suffer So Proud came in, says, hello, crew. Sorry I haven't been able to attend your streams. Lady D, my job is killing me with crazy hours. I miss you. And Craig.
Oh, I miss you, Suffer So Proud. But no worries.
And Craig, I can feel it. You will not be muted today. I know you can do it, lol. No promises there. Suffer So Proud. Thank you very much. By the way, Yvette, well, I was talking about with Blabs before the show. Next week is Veterans Day on Monday. And I think I want to do something special for y'all. We're going to kick around some ideas. So if you're a vet, let me know. I posted something over on X saying if you're a veteran and you watch the show, I think I got some ideas. So we'll figure it out. But go to that thread over on X and just let me know that you're a vet, like Suffer So Proud is. Shane came in with 20 over on Rumble. Says, good to see Lady Des and Yellow Flask. It's great to have 3 out of 4 people on the stream that is able to read. Oh, hi, Craig. Lastly, shame on Blabs for leaving off Crash Warped on games released today.
Listen. It's fine.
It's never fine. Never. You'll never be enough, Blabs.
I'm never enough. Damn it.
All right. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about today. I'm glad you guys are with us. Like I said, today is the day where I get to be exposed, which is wonderful. Linking me between me and
I really
Sweet
wish
Baby
you would phrase that a little bit better. I'm just saying.
Is this when you turn heel?
Yeah, today's the heel turn.
Totally here for the heel arc. I want to see it.
I'm gonna straight up do Mr. McMahon like back in the day. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. It'll be great.
I gotta watch it. Is that documentary any good? You watch
It's so good. I saw it. It was so. I highly recommend it.
I heard there was nothing new in it.
There's very little that's new in it. If you're an old school, or if you've like followed wrestling and you know what's going on, then very little of it's going to be new. But if you're like a normie and you just hear about this Vince McMahon guy, you're going to be floored. Right?
Yeah. I never. Sorry. Go ahead, Yo.
Is Thug Vince McMahon in it?
I think Do-Rag McMahon does make a brief reference in it. Yes.
We should all wear do-rags one day on the show.
Yeah, that sounds like a really horrible idea.
Why not? We'll bring Flawed on. It'll be fine. He'll give us
That's the most hilarious shit ever when he's talking to Booker P and he's like, "What's up, my N-word?"
Wait, did you say Booker P?
Booker T. Booker T.
Booker T. Yeah. It's a good documentary. If you're a normie and you haven't followed all the ins and outs of wrestling, then it's a great documentary. It's very eye-opening. So, Blabs, I think you would actually very much enjoy it. I mean, you're not like super hardcore wrestling fan, so you don't know.
I never watched wrestling growing up. I wasn't allowed to watch it. And at the time, like probably was a good thing because I think it was like right at like the height of all the craziness. But I really loved it. Like I've learned a little bit about wrestling before I watched it. I already knew some stuff, but I thought it was really entertaining. And, well, anyway, I have a lot of thoughts on it, but
no, fire away. Well, listen, this is a podcast. We talk about these things. Go ahead.
Well, I just think it's interesting that it was a reminder that there was a lot of craziness that existed in the 90s too. Like, I think sometimes we forget that. Like, there was this, it just got so intense there for a while that I think like it was honestly, I think it was really degrading towards women with the really extreme stuff. And I kind of like wonder, like, was this the birth of like the incels, honestly? I'm not saying that everybody that watched that like went that route, but it did seem to it was really, really on that edge there. And I know they were trying to be edgy. I see the entertainment value. I'm not like passing a really hard judgment call on it, but I do feel like, this didn't just come, all this craziness where we are in the world didn't come from nothing. Like it's slowly been growing. And so it was just a little eye-opening because I was very sheltered growing up. So I didn't see a lot of that stuff. So
I think if you look at it from 2024 eyes versus 1999 eyes, you're going to go, whoa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what you did, right? But when I was watching that, I was 18, 19 years old. And the idea of seeing a woman's boob was really enticing to me, right? Now, the idea that like having Trish Stratus get on her knees and bark like a dog. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, the really extreme stuff.
Yeah.
And which is what was highlighted there. And there was only like a couple of incidences, but it's like, yeah, there was some stuff that was too far that I feel like, should have been left out. I'm not like saying that the whole thing was, I think he was brilliant. McMahon has been brilliant. It's amazing what he was able to create. So that's not me like
wrestling is over the top. I think it's in line with what it is and what it was.
Chat hates me right now.
A lot of changes, but in the 90s was all about the attitude era, being edgy, just mostly so they could beat out their competition, WCW, which was nowhere near. They weren't even doing anything close to what WWF was doing at the time.
Yeah.
They hate me. Chat's so mad at me right now. Chat, I'm not woke. Okay. You don't have to be extreme with everything. I'm talking about the extreme stuff. It was interesting to see.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff could have been left off.
The incel thing, I think, is what set it off.
Right.
Oh, well,
right.
I'm sorry if that was offensive to anyone.
Don't ever apologize.
Don't apologize now. You got to stick with it now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. Well, listen, I'm talking about the really, really like disgusting, degrading stuff where people are hooked on terrible porn with women doing really bad things where it completely messes up their mind. Okay, I'm talking about extreme stuff.
Hey, speaking of extreme, did you see that Vince McMahon, like in his lawsuits, he's talking about like pooping on girls and all sorts of it was messy in more ways than one.
Yeah.
But with that said, like guys, Des can have an opinion. Like Des is looking at it from 2024 perspective, right? Not from 18-year-old horny dude perspective like me, right? And it is what it is, and that's cool, you know. She can. So hey, Machina Fortuna came in and says, check out Az's current stream title right now. Yeah, did you guys check this out? We're just them. You're just innocent, they, them. Let's go! Thanks, Az. Appreciate that.
His streams playing that have been very entertaining.
Yeah, he's been good stuff. So anyways, thanks for that, Az. Heels versus Babyface over there. Benjamin says, dog camera fund, justice for Peanut and Fred. Yeah, thanks, Benjamin. Appreciate that. Yeah, I should probably get it. If they're just hanging out, they're sweet little puppy dogs behind, man. I should get a camera.
Yes.
Maybe I'll work on it. Maybe we'll see. Not today. Benjamin says emo/goth Blabs fund. Oh, we just
not emo or goth. I swear it was just chickens.
Hey, that's what they all say, right? It's crazy. It was just chickens who scratched my arms up a bunch. That's why I go to
Blabs doesn't shop at Hot Topic, so how could she be?
Actually, I have. Just not anymore because now it's just shit.
Jason says, I said keel moose and squirrel, not raccoon and squirrel. I'm sorry. My fault, Jason. Dead said, Red Dead Sights came in and says, hello, y'all. Just thought I'd ask if you've been seeing Az having a meltdown over playing Dragon Age Veilguard lately. He's on one, Hillside Shores. I've heard he's been doing great. It's been
hilarious. I've been watching him. That's where most of my knowledge of the game has come from, watching his streams.
Craig Rhodes says, how can US IGN give Mario and Luigi Brothership a 5, but IGN gives Sonic Showdown a 9? This is why I voted for GOP. Thank you, Craig Rhodes.
Yeah, there was a review on IGN this morning about Mario and Luigi, and the guy was very disappointed.
Yeah.
But I didn't read the rest of it because he bored me. So
Hypnotic came in and says, I got 2 words for you. Do you know what those 2 words are, Des?
No.
Suck it. That's what it is. It's wrestling. I got 2 words for you. Suck it. That's what they do. It's all about penis and stuff. Hijabi Gamer says, everything with Peanut enrages me. I just lost my beloved cat of 14 years, Buster. The government took this man's beloved pet, put this loss on him. We are definitely getting to Peanut. You know, we're gonna bypass a lot here in a second. Let's go straight into Peanut here. But before we do, the Storm in Dallas Fort Girth came in with the $10 direct donation. It says, just some normal innocent support for some normal innocent men. We need a John Wick spinoff about another retired hitman whose pet squirrel and raccoon received government issued euthanasia.
Let's go. I like it.
Me too. I like that a lot. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's get into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a big day tomorrow. Big day tomorrow as it is voting election day in the United States of America. And look, I'm not going to tell you how you should vote, but I am going to tell you that you should.
I will vote Trump.
Okay, sounds good. Very good. Thank you, Flash, for that. I will say that I'll be voting for anybody that knows what a woman is. Just throw that out there. With that said, the founder of Apogee and 3D Realms, Scott Miller, came out with quite possibly the best platform I've ever seen. This is for back in 1996 when Duke Nukem ran for president. He put this out there. It says, when Duke ran for election in 1996, his common sense platform included getting rid of daylight savings time. Aliens from space need to be registered and pay their lawful taxes. If the federal budget isn't balanced, then Congress people up for re-election this year are not eligible. That's a great one right there. By the way, flat earthers will not be allowed to travel to countries on the other side of the globe. Home loans should be capped at 2.5% interest. Student loans should be a 0% interest. Burgers will be America's national food. This is from the Duke Nukem platform in 1996. I think that holds up today. Just going to throw it out there. Des, would you vote for Duke Nukem?
Yeah, absolutely.
Flash, your thoughts?
As long as he's not running against Trump. And I got to go with Trump. But
what about the idea of making the hamburger the U.S. national food?
it kind of is. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we're known for.
Yeah.
Burgers.
The
I
hamburger.
just had some last night.
Blabs, when was the last time you had a hamburger?
Last week?
Yeah. What goes on your burger?
Me specifically?
Yeah.
So I usually like having cheese on it, like Colby Jack cheese melted on it. I like pickles on it. I also love putting either French fries or chips on it too, and just smack it together. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, you're a chip person on your burger.
And French fries too. Yeah. Mhm. I'm a
Okay.
weirdo.
No,
I also,
that's not
dude,
weird.
I also put a knish on my burger last week. Like a full-blown knish. I opened up the bun. I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to try this. The wham. And I did.
Wait. Real quick. Catch me up on what a knish is real quick, Blabs.
It's a potato. The end. Yeah. You've
put a
never heard of a knish?
No, I have. I thought it was something different. We don't
No,
use
it's
words like
literally just
knish down in
It's
Texas.
a potato.
So you put a potato on a burger?
It's like a type of potato. It's like cooked and everything. It's like it's like potato inside of it, and it's like a slight like dough on the outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Would you
I
put
like-
a potato on your burger?
Oh no, but I'm kind of afraid. I think like chat's pissed at me, so I'm almost afraid to tell what
No,
I like.
Des, don't
Will you
listen.
stop that? Don't be a wuss.
Don't do that. Say it with your chest, Des.
I know. I love the side scrollers group. I don't want them to be mad at me.
They're not mad at you.
That's right. have to
But
look you-
okay, but listen, this is pretty controversial. I love a black and blue burger. I like blue cheese on my burger. I know a lot of people hate blue cheese, but I love.
Okay, here's the thing.
Don't do that.
I can deal with the other things, but I can't deal with the blue cheese on the burger.
Why? That just means she's artistic.
No, that's
And you're
okay.
just autistic because you don't like her.
That's all right. Thanks, Flats.
Flash, your burger of choice.
Ooh, I like barbecue sauce, some bacon on there.
Little
Even
onion?
like really, yeah, onion's okay, but I really like the. Have you ever had the burger where they put the egg and the bacon on it, and
Ooh,
That's good
yeah.
too.
that's so good.
See, I can't get myself to the egg on the burger. I know a lot of people are really into it, but I don't like eggs that have runny yolk. My eggs have to be done for me to eat them. So the idea,
Oh
of
yeah, well, yeah, that's how I like it. I
like
like that.
scrambled eggs.
Like that flat, not sunny side up. The next step up.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, look, we can do burger talk all day. It'd be great. And Des, I need you to own this, okay? Listen, you can have everybody is maybe enraged, but they're enraged with love, okay? And we're gonna. All right, so let's talk about let's get to the big story.
Yeah, over easy. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the big story over the weekend, okay? And that is the story of Peanut the squirrel. This took social media by storm over the weekend. And what you need to know is that there was a couple people who have this rescued squirrel, right? And over the weekend, it was like this Instagram famous squirrel with 500,000 followers. And they make all these videos and they treated it like a dog or a cat. It was just like a pet that they had. And it was like an Instagram famous pet. And then the New York government came in after a tip, took the squirrel and what was it, a raccoon also? And they killed it because they said it needed to be checked for rabies. So there was a ridiculous outcry here along the way for Peanut the squirrel and over the weekend. First and foremost, I mean, that's crazy, but there's another video. I don't know if you guys have seen this, because apparently they like ripped through the guy's apartment to try to find Peanut the squirrel. Did you guys see this video of him talking about what they did to their apartment? Anybody see this yet?
Yeah,
I
I've
did.
seen it. Yeah, it's
Okay,
awful.
Blabs, be ready to be enraged.
The officer opened the back of the toilet to see if I was hiding something in there. That's to find a squirrel. Let somebody come in here and do this to your house and keep it like this. I actually have broken soap bottles on the ground. I have a stain on my ground. This is to find a squirrel. This is to find a squirrel. This is to find a squirrel. You see that? That's that. See that? Do you see this, guys? You see that? You want to tell me that that's acceptable? This is the destruction that these people left in my house. So if you guys want to explain to me how this wouldn't devastate you, I've never been in trouble with the law whatsoever. There's another suitcase that came out of the closet. I don't have anything else to show you guys because the mind-blowing thing is the only places that they fucking destroyed was my room. The only things they destroyed were my room. They raided my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
What is the saddest little raccoon face ever right there. There's a lot going on in this story here. Blabs, I'm going to open this up to you as an animal lover. Let's say they just decided that they needed to check some of your animals for rabies, some of your chickens, Blabs. How would you feel about that?
Depends if they have a warrant or not. Did they have a warrant? Because obviously,
Yeah.
if you have a warrant, you can go in and do whatever the fuck you want. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Especially when they go and ransack it. That's just awful. That's just poor mannerisms. That's just abuse of power right then and there. Because there are ways that you can just go into somebody's house if you have a warrant and respectfully go through their things. You don't need to break up somebody's house. It's ridiculous. I understand that people want to check for rabies and all that stuff and keep the community safe, but there are other ways about going about it. You don't have to euthanize orphan animals, especially if they're being taken care of. And I understand that, yeah, okay, maybe it's breaking the laws because you're not supposed to keep these animals, but I think exceptions can be made, and you can also just do like checkups on these animals every couple of months to make sure that they're being taken care of, they're not causing issues. This isn't like some rabid dog or cat that like murdered a child, right? These are innocent creatures who were orphans, and then they were looked after and they were fine. So for me, this is just disgusting abuse of government control. That's all it is. It's just abuse, and I think it's awful. And these poor innocent creatures died for no reason.
I want to back up.
They died for Karen.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Karen, it's not 100% confirmed, but the reports are like 4chan found this woman. She's apparently bragging about this on her social media.
She's awful.
She's of course a Biden supporter. It's a typical bored white Karen.
It sounds,
if true.
Right. It sounds an awful lot like this.
There's a problem that has nothing to do with me. I need to solve it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like it's just a squirrel. Like, I understand squirrels can actually cause like a huge issue if they get in your house and they can just fuck shit up. Trying to catch them is a nightmare. But if it was well trained and like it was rescued from a baby, which means it's like it knows how to behave in the house, that I see no risk of like any issues. This should have just been like, all right, you are kind of breaking the rules here, but we'll make an exception for you. You have to make sure that you keep this animal under control and that you follow all the guidelines. You keep this animal in check. It means it's got like vaccines against rabies and all that other stuff. You know, like you keep this animal under control because it is a wild animal, regardless how small the size is. I understand, but yeah, no. There could have been so many other ways to go around this without murdering the innocent animals. And like, oh, we need to check it for rabies, so you go and kill it instead.
It's the only way you can check for rabies.
No sense.
It's the only way you can check for rabies, Blabs.
Well, no, you can give them the rabies shot, and then they're done and free of all that stuff.
I'll say
I
this.
don't think it works if they already have it. It's a vaccine.
Well, if they already have it, then obviously, but they didn't because they weren't biting anybody. They didn't have any of this.
And I'm not trying to defend it. I think it's awful, and I apparently they are suing, which is good because this is clear overreach. Well, it's been done.
You know, they posted a. Go ahead, Des. What were you gonna say?
You go ahead first.
Well, I want to show a quick video real quick. So before I get to that, go ahead, Des.
Can I say the F word on your stream?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, which one? The gamer word or
the one? The 4-letter F word.
Yes. Fire away. You can say fuck.
And I do mean fuck, and I do not say this very often. Fuck the government is my thoughts on this. This to me like speaks to such a larger issue. The government will do this too about your pets. They will do it to you too. They do this stuff all the time. I mean, there are countless videos of this happening where somebody goes, police come and they shoot the dog there. You know, so this kind of, it's not just animals. They treat people like trash too. I hate the government. I could rant about this for a while, but to me, this like speaks to such a larger issue. I mean, you know, even like taking the pets away. There's DCF that will come in and take your kids away, the drop of a hat. If somebody files some kind of false report, I mean, that stuff is just our government has gotten so crazy out of control, and I think that's everyone's reacting to this because it's so widespread with this one incident, but it speaks to such a larger issue. It's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, I think, for society.
I saw somebody who said like this squirrel's going to change the election. Like, and I think there's actually a little bit to that. The idea that people see this and they're like, whoa, holy shit. Like they're taking people's squirrels and raccoons. What are we doing here? It's crazy. And there have been several eye-opening moments. I think for some people it was COVID, you know, they're eye-opening going, oh shit, like this is pretty nuts. And for some people it'll be Peanut the squirrel, which is an amazing statement to say. Now, they did have this video here that they put out, and I'll say this: they had a lot of support while they were doing this video, and it was live, and there people were like donating and stuff. But I think you should probably turn it off while they're talking about this stuff, because you're going to see like all these little things pop up on screen, and they're all like they're trying to be serious, but they have all these goofy little things going on in the background. So just pay attention real quick.
We are going to continue to fight this battle. You know, again, we're not doing this to ask and plead and beg for money. That's not what this is about. We have a lot at stake here with our nonprofit and not fight.
Like,
It looks like Ted.
This bear behind him.
Is that Ted?
Right. I don't mean to laugh, but it's funny as shit.
Finding the funding that we need to continue to help animals. So that's why we plead our case. Again, a lot of this fell on the back of a squirrel who is no longer with us because the government decided it was more important to take a fucking squirrel and a raccoon away from a very good family and a very good environment. Guys, we can't go further into our legal action, you know, talking just yet, but just know that we are moving forward in that process.
I'm sorry, like you probably want to turn off the little avatar stuff as you're
They
going
probably
along.
didn't think of it.
Wait, up on there for real?
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
It is. Like, I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny, you know. But yeah,
isn't this TikTok? I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is TikTok. Yeah. So, anyways, look, I think anybody can see that this is crazy overreach, and the fact that I don't want to put the lady up who found her, because we don't know if it's her for sure. It's all speculation at this point. I don't want to like show this lady's face who's like, this lady did it, and then it's, you know, we don't know. But just the fact that if that's true, that apparently the rumors were that she was upset that the squirrel had more social media followers than her.
No way. That's pathetic.
That's what was going around on Twitter yesterday.
You know, so many insecure people out there. This squirrel has more followers than I do on social media. I'm a failure. Damn. Well, I'm sure the squirrel also has more personality than you two.
Yeah, the squirrel isn't a fat white Karen bitch.
I mean, like, regardless of like race and everything, anyone can be an absolute piece of shit and like report people for absolutely nothing. I mean, we saw it throughout 2020, right? People were reporting on their neighbors, and it doesn't matter who they were. But yeah, wow, pathetic.
It's a state of today's society where everybody wants to get in everybody's stuff. Everybody wants to get in everybody's stuff, and that's kind of where we're at right now, especially when it comes to squirrels. Peanut. Well, rest in peace, Peanut. You will obviously, and Fred. I think I'm more upset about Fred the raccoon because
he's not getting any limelight.
Well, and Fred the raccoon was like this sweet little raccoon. I mean, he's so sad, so sweet, and he's younger too. It's like a baby.
His life didn't even get a chance to start.
No.
Fucking assholes.
And like, you can literally just put the chat saying you could just quarantine them or something. I feel like killing them right then, basically, right, grabbing them and euthanizing them, I think is such an overreach. And just,
I think that was the end goal.
Yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry. Those are too little.
Another really sad fact is that they run a little rescue ranch for horses and all this stuff. And the money that was keeping that going, how they were funding it, and I don't know if you know a lot about horses, but they're not expensive to get, but feeding them is really expensive.
Expensive.
Really expensive. So they were using the money from the squirrel Instagram revenue and, all the other platforms that they had with the squirrel that was bringing in revenue. They were running that ranch with it. And now that income gone.
That is awful. And it's like, it makes me laugh because the same people in power are the ones who are screaming about protecting the environment and conservation. And then they go and euthanize 2 little harmless animals. It's like,
Well, these are the same people that say, these are the same people that are running on my body, my choice, but they forgot all about it when they were pushing that vaccine shit a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get much choice with my body then. So
they're
all hypocrites and pieces of shit, all of them.
Yeah,
Pretty
of course.
darn sad. And I feel for the
that whole
mom
argument
and
was
dad.
lost on me during COVID.
Oh, for sure. For
100%.
sure. Usleys came in and says, rest in peace, Peanut and Fred. This is just pure evil and laziness, and the government overreach is killing rescue animals for a Karen's jealousy TikTok fame. Yeah, that's right. It's ridiculous. Nathan
I just
says,
want to say, though, nothing from PETA, which is ironic.
good point.
Like, I went and looked on their social medias, and I didn't see anything. So they also tweet like little girls, so it's really
Well, they're
hard
too
to
busy
find stuff.
euthanizing their own animals.
Exactly.
Which they do.
So if you guys don't know PETA, and I've done plenty of research on PETA, they actually euthanize all the animals. They don't save them, and they also alter videos to make it look like it's worse than it seems, and they have an agenda, and that is just kill animals. The end.
Remember when they said drinking milk is white supremacy?
No, I'm sorry. I don't.
Did you miss that one? Yeah,
No.
They really did say that. They called it white supremacy. That's why people still drink milk. It's to hold up the standard of white rule or some shit. It was.
I mean, that must be really bad because I drink raw milk. So
Oh, shit.
That's the best kind of milk, from the bulk tank or from the titty. Which one do you do?
I do not drink milk. Wait, what? From cows? What? What did you say?
No,
What
I
was
said
the
from
first
the
thing you said?
bulk tank or the titty. Which one are you doing? The bulk tank's the same thing, just so you know. It's just
Did you ever see the movie Kingpin?
Yes.
Classic movie. Goes in there. I milked your bull. Or I milked your cow. We don't have a cow.
Oh,
We have a
Jesus.
bull.
Yeah, we got a bull. That's right. Nathan says, I think it'd be funny if Peanut Floyd wound up deciding the election. Also, the quote from the internet left over this has been amusing. I can't even say her name. I'm sorry. Inabatan says, people tend to forget the government and their handling of Waco and Ruby Ridge. GK says, this is just how New York is. Take that hoochie hawk. Oh, that's the governor, isn't it? Yeah. Soul Silver says, this reminds me of Wizard of the Coast sending the Pinkertons because of a card leak last year. I can't believe a squirrel could decide the fate of a country. Yeah. Rob came in and says, dicks out for Peanut. No.
That's right.
Memories of Rim came in and says, pets are family members. You are not doing that to my family without severe repercussions. Honey Badger says, Blabs, do you know how they get the mashed potatoes inside the French fries?
Well, French fries don't have mashed potatoes in them. They're literally just sliced potatoes and then cooked. But you're wrong.
Bullet Shepherd says, Flash has the correct burger opinion.
Thank you.
It's good. Hayden came in with the 10, says, cheese, bacon, fried egg, and pineapple. Oh, for the best burger experience.
Hayden is special.
Thanks, Hayden. Appreciate that. Lord Slosh, we didn't watch wrestling for the women.
Pineapple?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Hayden, you're a special guy. We appreciate you.
Hayden's a great guy. I disagree with your burden opinion, sir.
See, and that's the thing, is we can all disagree here on this show, which is great. It's okay. Lord Slosh says, we didn't watch wrestling for the women. We watched it for the big sweaty guys banging each other in the heads with steel chairs. Normal men stuff. That's right, Lord Slosh. Get in there, grappling up over there. That's good. We do see every single one of your super chats, every one of your direct donations and Rumble rants, and even gifted memberships like Angela who came in. Thank you very much, Angela. We'll read every single one of them throughout the show. Really appreciate that. But let's keep on moving on. All right. Hey, did you see the latest example of censorship on the internet? This is from specifically when it comes to the video game world. Are you familiar with a game called The Record of Lawless War, Deadlit in Wonder Labyrinth? Have you heard of this game before? I've never heard of this ever. Anybody ever familiar with this game?
No.
No. Well, here's the cover to the game with its original print. Now, this is a game that is still in print.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
It's still being released. And here is the original cover right here. Okay. So you can scroll down here, right here. Okay. This is what we got going on over here. Here is the, let's see, here's the original. And then we're going to scroll a little bit over to the right. And we're going to see, once again, this game is still in print. Notice two things that are missing.
No.
I love how there's countless examples of this. And there's like, well, you just want to masturbate to the cover. Like, there's obviously some shit going on. And I still see people saying that when you talk about this.
The idea that what's the big deal? It's not even real. It's like, it's the idea that you feel like you have to do this. That's the big deal of this whole thing.
And that's the
why are
change,
boobs
huh?
being so shamed?
Des, why are boobs being so shamed?
I mean, I think because they're trying to erase sexuality across the board.
Think that's what's happening here? Like, who's giving these orders? Was this something they did internally? We're like, listen, we I know we had this out 6 months ago, but we must make the change. We can't show the cleavage of her. Like, what's going on?
I mean, that's the real question. Who's in charge here? And what are they setting out to do? You know?
The androgyny is what they're looking for. Boys are girls, girls are boys, and we're all indistinguishable along the way.
We're all mixed up. We have no sense of identity. When you have no sense of identity, you're easier to control.
Look at this.
I'm literally like dissecting every little thing to make sure that everything is the exact same. It's just the tits and the zip up.
Kite the Twin Blade says, Craig, you have butchered the name. Oh, listen. Tell me something I didn't know already. It says, Lotus is an amazing game. It's a classic anime. It's a record for low dose. Okay, low dose. And it's a crime what they did to, if you're looking for me to butcher something, here it comes. Pyrotes on the cover. Look at that crime right there. There's all sorts of crime. Tons of crime. Unridiculous. Two big crimes happening right there. Unreal. Well, thank you, Kite. And I'm sorry that I butchered that. And I will not apologize for that. Dave says, I've heard that the dogs and cats from Springfield, Ohio are heading out to New York to support their squirrel and raccoon brothers and sisters. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. I can only hope. Jag came in and says, just going to point out that the state has over 13 million giant rats rampart, and the priority is suddenly 2 domesticated animals because of a swatter half a continent away. Way to go, feds. Make gaming great again.
Like, if you want an apartment in New York City, you have to pay like what, $2,000 a month plus a pigeon. Like, come on, get together.
$2,000.
Like plus, yeah, it's super expensive just to get another little apartment. Like
there's a guy. Studio. If you want to see it firsthand, there's a dude. I forget the name of it, but his videos show up all the time on YouTube and Twitter.
He lives in like a tiny ass little thing, and everything folds and stuff. Yeah,
he goes around and asks people in New York, how much do you pay, and they'll take him into their apartments, and some of these are like little boxes, and they're like $1,800 a month and shit's crazy.
Yeah, and you get a pigeon with it. It's
like my mortgage, and you're paying for a box.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave New York, and you can get a house for that.
It's funny you mention that because I, New York and San Francisco, 2 of the most expensive places to live in the United States. And actually, Adam just posted this a little bit ago. $700. Renters will soon be able to live in sleeping pods in San Francisco. $700. Like, oh my God, how disgusting!
You will live in pods. You will own nothing.
Exactly. That was the price of actually just a little bit more the first place I rented.
So, yeah. I think my first month. Yeah, I think my first month rent was, I think my when I was doing an apartment was like $550 a month, something like that.
$550 for me.
Yeah,
I think mine was like
plus utilities.
Plus utilities.
I was living with like 2 other people. We had our own bedrooms each, so 3 of us. We had a kitchen, a bathroom. I can't even remember what I paid, but it was dirt cheap.
Yeah,
dirt cheap.
Well, dirt cheap in comparison today.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Well, if they can just put on their AI goggles and escape to another world, then
That's right. That's right.
Living in a
all
pod.
the people that are going to pay for those pods too, that will live in those pods, all of them are going to vote for Harris.
Please, govern me harder, Daddy. along the way. All right. Hey, Daniel came in and says pineapple on burger in the States is meh, but if you're ever in Hawaii and it's actually super fresh, do give it a try. It's night versus day or man versus woman. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that. And Stay at Home Hippo came in and says we are in a time where Twitch, OnlyFans, and sex work is paraded in pride. Yet we cannot choose what we want as entertainment when it comes to women/physical bodies. The stupid/irony is astounding. We're going to get to Twitch here and just, actually let's bypass Mr. Beast. Let's go on to the Twitch CEO. Did you guys see the news that came down about the Twitch CEO over the weekend?
Yeah. I wasn't surprised actually.
Well,
it actually makes more sense now, given the way that platform runs.
So for those who don't know, what we're talking about is the Twitch CEO has some porn accounts that were discovered and included his favorite videos and favorited videos from streamers who allegedly did porn, or I'm not sure if it's they allegedly did porn or if he allegedly favorited the videos. But is there the Omni Icarus X account says, "Holy crap, we have found a bunch of porn sites, 99% verified to be DJ Clancy, in which he had favorited a porn video of Twitch streamer Mia Malkolov, basically his employee, and nothing but teen porn videos. I wonder why not safe for work streamers on Twitch get so much leeway. This is insane." Now, obviously,
What does she look like?
I don't know. Flash, maybe you could pull her up and we can see. We can make a decision if this is worth it or not. But you can kind of see here. That's Dan over here, and the next thing is the screenshots, which are being shared. Some of the accounts. So once again, you can kind of see he actually used his. By the way, we're not doxing anything. This is all available online. This is the email that he put on his resume, as well as his personal LinkedIn, and it's all linked to these porn accounts. You think he'd be a little bit smarter with how he did this. I wish I could ask if anybody's surprised, but I don't think anybody truly is. I mean, hey, people look at porn. I get it, right? But I just think it's ironic that he used his personal email to sign up for these accounts. And who makes accounts on these things anyways? I don't know. Flash, your thoughts on this? Or are you too busy Googling right now?
I was looking her up. She's pretty. She's pretty. I can see he's got a type.
Yeah. Okay. Blabs, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I got it for you.
Do you want me to talk about how I think the CEO is using his own email addresses for porn?
You can talk about whatever you want.
Not the best idea. You would think he would actually make that quiet and not tell the world, but here he is. Then again, he also hires deer kind and stuff, so I don't really think his brain cells are wired all that well, and I think he's kind of fried.
She's well endowed.
She is. Yes, she is. Des, you're a big advocate for Kick, and Kick's had all sorts of insanity happening on it, but they had their CEO looking at porn using his work email?
I think he's too smart for that, but
wasn't the smart move.
No, I mean, I am a big advocate of Kick because I feel like I know I know the people that run it and they're good guys, and I know they're trying to weed out a lot of the insidious stuff there on Kick, and I think they are doing it. I don't know. I'm not surprised because he's always kind of given me a very creepy vibe. So I'm not surprised. But that's just a vibe. My vibes are wrong sometimes, but he gives off something. Ugh. He gives off the ick.
A little bit of a Harvey Weinstein-ish feel off of him, huh?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Well, and teen porn is different from adult porn too. That's why is he favoriting teen porn? That's not okay.
I 100% agree. It's kind of, ooh. But, well, we'll see if anything comes of that. And pardon the pun with the comes thing, but we'll see if anything comes of that. And we'll see if there's any upheaval at Twitch, be like, yo, what do you know? Or if he has to go to any sort of PR company or HR meeting with the HR folks. Hey, Dan, we don't need you looking at porn with your email. Speaking of some craziness happening at companies, hey, we haven't used this in a while, but I'm really glad we actually have an opportunity. Where is our intro for Mr. Beast? Where's our intro for Mr. Beast? Where is it? It's at the top. Where are you? There it is. It's time for the Beast Files.
I love your copyright-free unsolved music, unsolved mysteries theme.
Thanks. You can thank Sean for that. Once again, if you guys want, Sean is our artist who does all the wonderful intros and stuff. You can find his information down below. He'll make something for you.
Yeah, I
Pay
might
him.
actually look him up.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Links down below. Send him some referrals, which is good. All right, so Mr. Beast has been through all sorts of crazy controversy over the last several months, dealing with all sorts of ideologies and all sorts of stuff going on with his Amazon show. And it got so bad that he said, hey, I need to hold an investigation in my company. And I'm going to do this. And it's going to be an internal manner, and we're going to handle this. Well, here's the thing. He has come out and said that the investigation found that they pretty much need a new CEO after this. Mr. Beast is hiring a new CEO and firing multiple employees after internal investigation found workplace harassment and misconduct at his company along the way. This is, I don't know, color me shocked. I think when there's smoke, there's fire in a lot of situations like this, where you have not just one, but like it seems like dozens of people coming out and talking about this on a day-to-day basis. Blabs, who's the female creator who used to make cookies? What's her name? Rosario?
Cookie Mane?
No. The lady who's going after Mr. Beast, who's kind of made it her life thing. Isn't her Rosario, something like that? Whatever. She's been going after, and she's been talking to a dog pack.
I thought you were talking about Pokemon for a second about the cookies.
No, Pokemon is not going after Mr. Beast. But yeah, this has been interesting. I don't know. Des, are you surprised at all with this internal investigation?
I mean, No, not really, actually. Like, what surprises you about it? The fact that he conducted it, or the fact that just there was a lot of people doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing? What part is surprising to you, I guess?
No, it's not surprising at all.
It's not surprising. Okay.
No, it's not surprising at all. I think what's more surprising is the idea that they held an internal investigation and they felt the need to change their CEO after holding that. And because oftentimes what happens with internal investigations is they find nothing wrong and they go, oh, we didn't, nothing happened.
We're good. In a way, it kind of makes sense, probably. I mean, because it seems like there was stuff that was going on. It was kept quiet for a while. And a lot of times it's kept quiet when people don't think it's a problem, when there's a lot of people who don't think it's a problem. So maybe they just felt like it was so much stuff has been normalized now, people don't even see it as an issue.
Right.
How much money do you think he gave the scapegoat?
Man, I'll tell you what, that's the interesting thing about this is you have a guy with literally infinite funds, and you've already seen him pay off people like publicly. He gave that guy almost $200,000 to just kind of shut up. And the guy was like, well, he gave me a bunch of money. So, well, see you later. I got my payoff. You're not just dealing with a YouTube creator. You're dealing with a guy who has a net worth of almost $1 billion. Like, money is nothing to this guy. And you know that because he's handing out 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, like it's nothing. And that's a lot of money. And yeah, you're right. That's a really good question, Flash. Like, the CEO now has egg on his face. I don't know who the CEO is, right? But the CEO has been tainted in some way, shape, or form. You wonder if he's receiving any sort of payout, or if he's being let go with cause or whatever it may be for not righting the ship. But really, at the end of the day, isn't Beast the one who's most responsible for this? Right?
He's the one bringing all his buddies.
Well, I mean, it kind of it might give the appearance of exonerating him a bit if he had this internal investigation and then he's following through with letting people go, because it shows that oh, I was unaware, and see, now that I'm aware, I'm now letting them go. So it to me, it kind of gives that, and I don't know enough about it to know if he actually, how innocent he is or not, but I think it can definitely give that appearance. So it's probably a smart move, honestly.
Well, just another day, another Mr. B story. And is anybody ever shocked? I am not.
It's
Nathan?
interesting that he has not really tweeted anything out except for July 24th, but except for this November 1st one, and that's it.
What did he say on November 1st?
There's this thing about a document, but it says it's like a community noted and everything. Let me just pull this up for you guys. Okay, so here it is. It says a 3-month investigation into allegations regarding my company has concluded. The law firm investigators reviewed millions of documents, messages, and conducted 39 interviews. I was asked to refrain from making public statements to enable detailed and unbiased investigation. Below are the conclusions. But then here it says, Mr. Beast hired Delaware as a manager despite knowing he was a registered sex offender. Jake the Viking. Woof. Interesting.
Yikes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's our update.
Okay, well, that's where we're at with Mr. Beast. Will anything happen to him? No, nothing will happen to him. Of course not. Too big to fail at this point. Belial King came in with the 10. I don't even know what that is. 10. What is SGD? But thank you for your crazy monies. Appreciate that. If y'all want to see exactly how slow and inefficient New York City's bureaucracy is, watch Louis Rossman's latest vid. He used to run a Mac repair store and has since moved to Texas. Singapore, because of New York City's incompetence. Thank you for your Singaporean monies. Really appreciate that. All right. We got a lot to talk about here, and it's time to come clean, guys. It's an embarrassing moment for me, as we're going to bring in Master of the TDS joining the show. Hello, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I don't know. We're gonna see how well I'm doing after all this, because we're gonna bring you on to talk about a couple of the stories that you broke. One on Friday. We're gonna transition over to Sweet Baby Inc. And apparently there's a tie to Screw Attack, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But first, let's talk about the first story you broke on Friday, which was the idea that they are working with a group called the Powell Group. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what exactly is going on with this?
So basically, it appears that this actually happened very recently, where Sweet Baby Inc. decided to partner with this group, the Powell Group, who is basically another consulting kind of company. But at least it seems like this one had a little bit more credibility behind it. Like the person involved, Jay Powell, seems to have some pretty decent connections and seems to actually have some goodwill maybe behind him. But basically, they partnered with Sweet Baby Inc. and announced it on their page, on their LinkedIn page, and they made a whole section of their consulting page website for for Sweet Baby Inc. A funny thing, though, is after I made a video on it and other people picked it up and ran with it, it would appear they're very aware that we found them out, because they wiped the part of their website, and they also wiped all their LinkedIn posts. So any LinkedIn posts that mentioned that they're partnered with Sweet Baby Inc. are gone now. And I think Vera Dark had where you could see the website is, if you go, there was a specific tab that was for the consulting, and it had a couple colored blocks and the Sweet Baby Inc. spiral in front of it. And it was clearly it was announcing their partnership, and it's now gives an error. It says game over. Nothing's here. You might want to search. So they clearly know. And then the funniest part, and this is newer information, they forgot to remove Sweet Baby Inc. from their the services page. So it still showed them there, and someone alerted me to it, and I made a post about it. And within 20 minutes of making that post, it was removed from the service page. So clearly they're watching. Clearly they know. So,
hey everybody, good to see you. So question: who is the Powell Group? Who are they? What do they do? Why would they want to partner with Sweet Baby Inc.?
Well, they're a consulting group. They want to do sensitivity consulting and stuff that Sweet Baby Inc. pretty much does as well. They also help people reach a bigger audience and and they have a ton of connections. According to their last investor call, they actually had, not investor call, but they had an investor thing that they released at the end of the year. They had basically I think it was 500 investors and 600 or like some odd number of a huge number of people working that they work with and a ton of investors. So basically what the goal here is Sweet Baby Inc. is using their name to kind of hide because they know now, to be fair, and I announced this before, we got an article recently of former member of Sweet Baby Inc., Grant Roberts, came out basically saying that Sweet Baby Inc. hasn't been affected. What people kind of missed in my original video when I announced about the Powell Group is that I said the same thing. I said that I've been told that they haven't actually been affected aside from firing Chris Kindred, and it turns out that that's correct. But they have been affected in a way because the negative press has not been great for them. It's been good for them in certain ways and bad for them in some ways. But they've been kind of able to batten down the hatches and kind of just keep working. And because they keep working, basically, they decided to hide behind the Powell Group's name because it's more trusted, whatever, so they can kind of do it. And that basically kind of happens afterwards, is that they're using that name as like a backdoor into the industry to make it so that they can kind of appeal to a wider audience and appeal to all this other stuff without having the same, I guess, negative impression of the Sweet Baby Inc. name because they know that we're kind of on to them. You're still muted, Craig.
I was just talking to myself. Did you see Savvy's post about the connection with Jay Powell and the IGDA? Did you see that?
I
post
did see that. I didn't look into it too much because I've been really busy on my end. But I did see it.
Well, we're going to get to what else you've been working on in a second, but I did want to kind of read through this because Savvy will take things that you have, and she kind of goes even like you guys both are just incredible at like diving autistically into these things, and you both have your great strengths when it comes to researching. And she's, I was talking to her, she did 5 minutes of research, and she said I can already connect the Powell Group to two other things that I'm already mapping. Once again, the usual suspects connect so easily together, presenting themselves as a larger group, when in reality, it boils back down to the same handful of people. Jay Powell, founder of, is on the IGDA board, which, along with one of the other staffers on the Powell Group, the IGDA is quite the DEI promoter, a nonprofit that has partnered with some big names, and no doubt there's cross benefit from working with these folks. So who is the IDGA? Are you familiar with this group at all?
A little bit. Okay. As I said, I didn't get a chance to look into this specifically. I when I found out the connection and they had a specific page for Sweet Baby Inc. on their website, that's what I ran with. So as regards to my flow chart, which we'll see soon, it has them on there, but it doesn't have their connections yet because I thought it was more important when I found that. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is not just we're partnered, but we're not going to kind of do anything. This is clearly like something more. So that's what I ran with at the time. So the IGDA is the International Game Developers Association. And there it is right there. So like SBI through the Powell Group is directly linked to the International Game Developers Association. This is a deep rabbit hole, which I know you guys are just now getting to. But how about you pull up your sheet here? I'll get this up for you. Okay, what exactly are we looking at here? Well, I forget how to present this thing. Hold on. There you go.
Yeah, sure.
So what you're looking at here is a comprehensive timeline of Sweet Baby Inc. If you'll see, it starts at 20. People don't realize it actually started. The seeds for it started in 2011, and it goes to current day. 2015, 2025, which hasn't gotten there yet. But I basically mapped out everything and what I believe the connections are. And there's a couple interesting things to take away from this. So first off, in 2011, Ariadne McGilvery, who was one of the founding members of Sweet Baby Inc., started a new job at Blind Ferret Entertainment. So Blind Ferret is a company that actually works with a couple different people. As you'll see here, it says that they work with Apple, Netflix, Nintendo, Sega, Team 17, Activision Blizzard, Riot Games, Disney, Ubisoft, and Gameloft. So they work with quite a number of people. And this is where I believe Sweet Baby Inc. began, or at least the idea for it, because so we talked about these podcasts over here. the Sexiest Podcast and the WrestleGamia Podcast. The Sexiest Podcast being... Go ahead.
Yeah, and these are the two podcasts that were started by Kim Belair.
Yes. Well, there's actually another podcast that came before this, which is what I was going to get to here. If you'll look down here, in 2012, there was the Watchtower podcast, and it actually had a lot of episodes. But there's an interesting rabbit hole to be explored here still that I'm getting to. There's some interesting connections to an interesting news show called Naked News. Don't even ask.
Okay.
But the interesting point is if we go and look down here, I'm not as familiar with it. There you go. So don't have time to explore them. Jeff and Ari have the time though. So which Ariane McGilvery. So it was her first podcast. But what gets interesting is right here you can see a book. It's called Pure Steel. It's a hardcover book that was made in 2013. And it was made by Ariane McGilvery and Kim Belair. So it was literally a collaboration between the two of them. Actually, last night I spoke about this with Smash JT, and he actually ordered, I think it's out of print. He ordered one off of eBay. So at some point we'll get to read it because it's full of feminism stuff. But the interesting part here is Blind Ferret Entertainment. Why is that important? Because it's the same company as Blind Ferret. It's the same as Blind Ferret Entertainment. However, the interesting part is if we take a look at Blind Ferret and we go a bit further, in 2018, right around the time at the end of 2018, where Sweet Baby Inc. was founded, Blind Ferret Entertainment changed their name to Laughing Dragon Studios. And Laughing Dragon Studios is known for Death Battle. So Death Battle is a channel that some people here may be familiar with. I know, and basically if we want to take a closer look here, Death Battle was hosted on it's hosted on Death Battle YouTube channel, formerly known as Screw Attack. So literally
Sorry.
So literally
started this, Craig.
Literally right before or maybe even right after Craig decided to leave, these people were involved. Now, whether they were involved behind the scenes or not is kind of unclear. I wouldn't be surprised if they were involved kind of from the get-go.
So allow me to kind of clear the air here. Okay. So this says 2018 is when they made the switch, and that's when they started working with Death Battle. Is that correct?
I believe so. I can look right here.
So I left Screw Attack in 2016. So this is at least a year and a half because I left in October of 2016. So from there, and I was not there for the rebrand of Screw Attack to Death Battle. So for the record, I did not have anything to do with these people. And but I will say this, hiring people to produce animations and stuff, that's something that was a pretty standard thing back in the day. Now, I obviously don't know who this company is, and I never knew who this company is. That was definitely done through Ben and Chad, and probably Sean Hines, who was running that channel after I left. So yeah, I left in 2016. You said they worked in 2018. So I don't know. And honestly, I haven't really had any communication with anybody really since then. So, but yes, it was me. I was me all along.
It's like the Scooby-Doo meme where it takes the mask off and it's Craig underneath instead of Kim Belair.
That's right.
But they could have been working there earlier. I don't know. I haven't found more information on that, but they changed their name in 2018. So I don't know if it was 2018 they changed their name and then got involved with Screw Attack. They could have been involved beforehand. I don't really know. I'm looking into that more. But I did want to point something out. I know Madam Savvy went into this a bit as well, but I went through and found a list of all the podcasts that they did for the Sexiest Podcast.
Yeah.
And I found every single member on it who had a connection to the gaming industry. And I mapped them all here.
Dude, it looks like a power panel.
But wait, if you look, they all have something in common.
They're all going one place, aren't they?
Work at Ubisoft.
Oh, baby. There we go. Wow. And you want to know.
Fucking Ubisoft.
Every single line. The pink lines, I made it pink because the sexiest podcast. And they all go to Ubisoft. They also go other places. There's like Warner Brothers, Montreal, Compulsion Games, Bungie, a bunch of other places. I also mapped out every single person that are publicly available at Sweet Baby Inc. So now we know who they are and where they worked and whether they still work there. Including, there was an article recently from Grant Roberts. Here he is. You can actually see that he used to work at Sweet Baby Inc. until October of 2024. And before that, he was a lead writer for Rocksteady, and before that, Bungie. So he's got some interesting connections. But the interesting thing I wanted to point out here, before I know we have limited time, but I wanted to point out one interesting connection that I think there's more to dig into here. Mm-hmm. So if we go here to Gamergate 1, right? Zoe Quinn, Brianna Wu, Nita Sarkeesian, Feminist Frequency. A company was created called Weird Ghosts. And people knew this connection before to Sweet Baby Inc., but I don't think they knew entirely what the connection, how interesting it is. So if we follow this connection here, if we look right at the end of 2023, like literally a couple months, we get this post. Today we celebrate the 7 studios joining cohort 3 of Baby Ghosts. They hail from Edmonton to Montreal, London to whatever, and you see, boom, Sweet Baby Inc. right there. And it wasn't just them. Chris Kindred decided to comment on this as well, saying he was so glad to be part of this cohort. Now, why am I bringing this up? We know this connection somewhat. Why am I bringing it up? Because if you'll look on here, and I did this on purpose, you'll see Gamergate 2 started right at the beginning, around the beginning of 2024. And literally a couple months before that, literally just a couple months, Sweet Baby Inc. joined Baby Ghosts, a company connected to the first Gamergate. So I find that really interesting because it just seems very, like, I don't want to say, I'm like not want to jump into like conspiracy territory, but it seems very odd that they would get funding and connected with Baby Ghosts a couple months before Gamergate 2. And they that's what they kicked it off. Like, they obviously, I'm not saying they planned it or whatever, but it's an interesting connection to say the least, because it's like 1 or 2 months before they were directly connected to the original Gamergate. So,
well, this is autistically like amazing, right? I love the level of research that you put into this, man. And it's eye-opening to see, especially just seeing the lines all point to Ubisoft, right? And you see Ubisoft in its current state right now, and you're like, well, why do they fail? And it's like, well, there you go, Great work, man. Great work. And I'm sorry that a company that I started and founded, that I later left, later worked with these fuckfaces. So in some way, it's a loose connection, but hey, it is what it is. I've said all along, when it comes, if you were to play the Kevin Bacon game, the 6 degrees of separation, whatever it is, like, we're probably connected to a little bit of everything along the way. So, because the video game industry, as big as you think it is, it's actually pretty small. So, with that said, great job, master of the TDS friend. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MasterTDS or on Instagram at MasterTDS. I mostly post our videos there. But you can find me on the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel. I run it with my wife, Writing Raven. We do a show there every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which we actually did one yesterday, going over some of this stuff. And I'll be putting out a video later today that's cut from that. That's going to be going over this map. So anybody who wanted to see it more in depth or wanted to kind of, look through it more, it'll be there. I'm sure you guys will have it here as well. And I think Smash also has it as well to some degree. People have asked me, oh, am I going to figure out a way to like share this so everybody can look at it and everybody can whatever. It's planned. It's definitely something I plan to do, but I think there might be a bit more digging and connections that I want to do here before I put it out there. So that is something I'm keeping in mind, but I have heard people asking for it, and I definitely think that's something I want to do in the future so people can see it. But I think there's a little bit more connections I want to make first.
Well, you're doing an excellent job, man, and way to keep diving. Round of applause to you, my friend. And we're going to make sure everybody can go and check out your channel. If you want these autistic deep dives and phenomenal research, head over to Master the TDS, and everywhere that you just said right there. So great stuff, man. Congratulations, and we'll keep an eye on your work.
Yep. Thanks for having me. And darn, I'll have to work harder to expose you next time.
All right. Sorry. You didn't quite get me. There you go. Appreciate
darn. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that meddling side scrollers.
I know. All right, buddy. We'll catch you soon. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Great stuff right there. It is. It's a lot to take in, and when you see it all like visually put out like there, it's even more overwhelming as opposed. So, Des, what do you think of all that? You see a company like Sweet Baby Inc. that is connected across the board, even like connections to me very, very, very loosely. This is a company that's a narrative company that has infused all of this stuff into the video game space. I don't know, just your thoughts on that.
I mean, like you said, it is kind of a small world, but I don't know. It just always feels so insidious, like it's planned to just infiltrate all the corners. And they've done a good job. I mean, look at where video games are now versus where they were even 10 years ago. It's just deteriorated so quickly, and it's like a widespread cancer right now. So it's not surprising to see. It makes a lot of sense. And I don't know. It feels like people are really aware now, and you just hope that we can eradicate it.
I think, the one thing I saw continuously in the chat was, okay, so what do we do? Right. And I think the big thing is you just raise awareness as best as possible. Just do your best to raise awareness and let people know. And I think what we're doing is important. So who these people are and what companies they're associated with and how it all ties together. Because you can see, the tendrils literally in every aspect of this business. So Flash, you got any thoughts on that?
If you see a game connected to them, don't buy it, share it, let people know, tell them who these people are, educate them. Like, more people need to know.
Yeah.
And yes, Ubisoft started all this shit, and I'm loving the karma that's coming at them because they're not doing well.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. This has been interesting for sure. And kudos to the folks at Gothic Therapy for putting that together. They're awesome. The husband and wife team growing. Make sure you guys go subscribe. All right. Let's go and pivot and make our way over to Dragon Age real quick. This has been an ongoing story over the last little bit. I'll tell you what, before we do that, Blabs, can you read off some super chats? I got to get my dogs. They're freaking out. They're not used to what's happening right now. I got to move them real quick. They're
Okay.
freaking. Give me just 1 second.
Major Spam for €2 says Sweet Baby Inc. also got a shout out at the Game Awards 2023. Giga Twin says the truth is revealed, and now Craig must atone by embarking onto a journey to banish this great evil. Remember, it's dangerous to go alone. Thank you. Mephistopheles, I think, says you thought it was Sweet Baby Inc., but it was me, Craig. This is the jizz. His side scrolls is not associated with Stuttering Craig. I've been saying that since the start. Mr. Wolfgram says I will always think of peanut when I'm eating peanuts. Thank you. Mercenary says, Craig, think about the paperwork you would find. Cabrutus definitely needs TDS for his list. I don't know what that means. I guess to go on to his list. Thanks, Mercenary. Book of Joseph, I didn't know Sevi was on the show today. Sevi's not on the show today. Sevi's never been on. JWT6577 says the treachery.
Savi's been on here.
No, that said Sevi.
Oh.
The treachery. You are a normal man. No more. Mercenary says this might explain why they wouldn't sell it back. And there's a whole bunch of them that we missed the front. So let me grab these. Miner says the government always ends people's pets at people's homes. Wait, what? The government always ends pets at people's homes. Yep, it's awful. Miner says Craig doing events is when you poop on a lady. Thanks. Thank you. Masagawa says, I like emo Blabs. Why is the whitest white girl actually the black girl from Sweet Baby Inc? If you know, you know. Cod with vets at the VFW Hall for Veterans Day. Thank you, Masagawa. The Worthy One says, Craig, who you thought had the funniest oversells? My top contenders were HBK, Lex Luger, Bully Ray, and D-Bomb.
HBK is the king of oversells.
There you go. And Schlangen Nanner says, Peanut died for our sins.
Ridiculous. All right, let's go and move on to, thank you, Blabs. Let's go and move on to Dragon Age the Veilguard. Now, Flash, you've been making a lot of videos about this. Desiree, have you been following this stuff with Dragon Age the Veilguard on X?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Let's see if it jogs my memory.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to be fascinated by this. Because this is a game that it's the Dragon Age franchise is a massive franchise, EA franchise, done extremely well. And it was released on Thursday, on Halloween, and a lot of people were expecting it to do exceptionally well. It's done fine, right? But the thing leading up to the game was there's some footage that leaked from the game leading up to it, and it is ripe with gender ideology. I mean, just rammed down your throat along the way. Flash, am I correct in that?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
And there's a scene where that Tosh character sits down, like just goes and sits down at a table with her mother, and the first thing she says when they all sit down is, "I'm non-binary." It's a whole scene about coming out to your family.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere for sure. There's several points where it's baked into the story in a major way. As people have been playing through the game, there was a point where people were like upset at me. I posted this video of Asmongold. It has holy shit, it has 1.2 million views. Okay, where he is playing the game. Let me actually show this to you really quick. And every single option that you have in this skill tree or in this story tree is to become transgender. So here it is. Here he is playing, and people are like, well, there's a back button, right? Well, if only there was a back button after you become trans. But here we go.
Should I do it? I mean, every single option makes me transgender. There's no option not to be transgender.
They want you to go through
makes me trans.
What's that?
They want you to experience the transition.
That's right. You will.
That's what this is.
Mm-hmm. Now people say that there's a back aspect of it. You can go back if you want. Sure, you can go back. But the idea is that there's a point in the game where you have to make a decision. And here's another.
Why can't it say that's not me? Why does it have to say back? And they make it. That looks like the least desirable option there. It's like intentional because they want you to do it. The whole point is to put it in your mind so that you think about it to encourage it. This is what social engineering is.
Well, as you can see here, this is the tweet this is the piece that Flash was talking about, where the girl sits down.
So I'm non-binary.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
So there's that. And this is probably the most interesting one and we don't need to watch this whole thing, but the long and short of it is this lady's telling a story and she says she instead of they. And there's a 2-minute sequence where she talks about how it's not good enough to just say you're sorry and that you need to do push-ups to atone for your sins of misgendering somebody. Yeah. And what's amazing about this sequence, if you watch the full sequence, which is about 3.5 minutes long, there's a point where the person talking just goes, well, anyways, and she just kind of continues on with the story. Like it's totally written that way. Des is literally face palming right off the bat, which is great. So now that you have context, Des, are you ready to dig into this? Because here we are.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, the game launched, and it hit an all-time peak of players yesterday. Yesterday, it had 89,000 people playing it, which I think is people are saying, well, this is a just tremendous success, and 89,000 people is nothing. It's nothing bad. It's actually pretty good, right? But you think you got to consider is that this had a 10-year development cycle. It's an EA game. It's a massive property, and it can't break 100,000 players. This is also the game that was the common selling point on this is that the talking point is that this is the biggest single player launch for an EA game on Steam ever. And so on the surface, it sounds really good until you realize that all the games that launched on Steam from EA came later after they were already on other platforms. So Steam was a secondary platform later on down the line. This was launched day one on Steam. So you would expect it to be that, right? So it's at 89,000. What's that?
It's a return to form.
Yes, it's a return to form. And you see this from journalists all the time. They're saying, oh, this is commercial success, right? But when you compare it to other games like Black Myth Wukong, all along the way, the Monster Hunter, Baldur's Gate, Helldivers along the way, these games are dwarfing the number of players that were playing this game along the way. Now, this is from Jay Viper over on X talking about the number of players. If they sold 500,000 players on it, the gross revenue is 28 to $29 million. On the surface, it sounds great until you realize that the estimated budget for this game is $250 million. So this game is underperforming drastically. But the cope on this is that it's going extremely well. And Flash, did you see the Jason Schreier post where he was talking about get woke, go to the top of the charts?
Yeah, he's happy to own the chuds.
That's right.
He's owning the chuds.
Right. And once again, the game is selling, but it's just a matter of, is it selling well enough? Now, this came out this morning, actually, and this was pretty amazing to see. Like, it's honestly like shocking to see this. There was a post that was posted last night that was notes in the game. There's all these like little, side notes and things along the way. Did you see this, Flash, this morning? The different notes that were put into the game here?
I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So without a little bit of context, this doesn't help. So I want to pull up the actual video to this so everybody can kind of see what's happening. And once again, Grums does a really good job of consolidating things and make it easily digestible. So I'm going to pull up his tweet here. He says, Dragon Age Veilguard writer/designer messes up Lee's propaganda, trans writer's notes or diary and lore in the game lore. This is edit. Some say these are Tasha's own thoughts in character, but if it's so, it's extremely strange and written poorly. Now, you can actually go in and see these things here. And they go continue here. Are the things that don't make a whole lot of sense. So you go into this Lord of Fortune area, and it has these notes over here. This is where the screenshots were from. Now, if you look at these, once again, whether it's the characters or not, there's all these notes in here. Trans means was other gender, then changed. Like these almost seem like notes that were made in the game, but were transferred over. They were made about the game, but transferred over to the game. Trans women is women. Not feeling right in body is dysphoria. Whole big thing. And it's more about like just being trans and non-binary. Once again, in a game about dragons and fantasy along the way. And these are the notes over here, never too late. Talking about their identity. And you can see them a little bit better along the way. Writing notes to work through gender crap. Like, why would this character be saying this in this game? This definitely seems like, or having their thoughts. It definitely seems like some sort of self-insert or some sort of notes along the way that were put in that were just left in along the way. So, it's a mess, man. This whole thing is a mess when it comes to this game. And I've said this all along. I don't think that it's necessarily about this game. I think it's necessarily about it's about the next Dragon Age that comes out, and to see if this one is underperforming, how will the next one do after all this has been put into it.
And like, what is usually the timeline? Like when they would have put this stuff in? Was that what, 2 years ago?
Well,
Like,
this game has been in development for a decade.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, because I feel like the height of all this stuff, I think we're over the hump. I don't know. That's just me being. I really think we are over the hump. I think we are. So I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see what comes out in the next couple of years to see is it being reflected in the games, because it makes sense that we'll be getting games released right now that are going to be really bad because it was so crazy, 2 years ago, especially.
Right. This is I like pulling up Savvy's thoughts. I think she does a pretty good job of consolidating. But speaking of like those notes here, she says, this reads like someone very, very unwell. Like this is modern day schizo Reddit posting in a fictional fantasy medieval world. And they're right. Savvy's 100% right about that. She's right. Like the way those are written seems like somebody who is all over the place and is an absolute mess. And that is built around their identity. That's what these people have. And it's crazy. It's like the only thing that they have. Flash, you got anything on this?
Well, there's a reason that they're putting this in a game like Dustborn, or not Dustborn, but Dragon Age versus like something else, is because it has an established fan base and they can co-opt it and they can use it to push the shit they want to. How many times have we seen this?
Right. I have my insider. They actually just sent me a note, like literally right now, talking about the canceled orders of Veilguard, because my retail insider has access to hundreds of stores nationwide. And what's interesting about this is that the number of canceled pre-orders are hovering around 15%. So 15% of people who went in to pre-order this game initially have gone in and canceled their pre-order because they've either seen this, for whatever reason. But 15% seems very high for pre-orders of a game. Blabs, you got any thoughts on all this?
Just disconnected me. I'm actually trying to open up our pre-order numbers. Wow, you've done a lot of work in there. I just checked it. So yeah, there's like a shit ton of pre-orders. I don't know. I feel like this isn't really like a huge ding in the notch, if that makes sense. Like I still think this game will do fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm with Desiree on this. I think we're kind of like getting over the hump, and unfortunately, these games that are going to be coming out in the next few years are going to have all this bullshit in it because I feel like they won't be able to pull all this stuff out of it in time. It's like already in the works, and like they can just cancel everything. And then I think it'll be very interesting in like 6 years, in like 2030, and see where games are.
I think it's important. It is still important to hold strong though, and still vote with your wallet.
Yes.
Even though it's like, I feel like we have to keep doing that. So the culture does change and does shift. I mean, part of the reason why I think, I have 2 high schoolers. So I kind of like ask them what it's like, the temperature at school, to kind of sort of see like, are things on their way out or not? And it's definitely a lot better than it was a couple of years ago. So I think it's just you just have to keep voting with your wallet because it's always about the money.
I would say you need to vote with your vote, because I think I listen, without getting super political, I think that if it goes one way, the whole woke ideology could get a whole lot better, or at least be on the way out. And if it goes the other way, it could get a whole lot worse. That's just my thoughts.
What do you think Mass Effect 5 is going to look like now? That game is going to be a shit show.
There's a lot of established IPs that are going to be a shit show.
It's just going to be the dark ages for a little while, but we got to just get through it. Yeah. And don't get demoralized in the process, because I think that's part of what some of these evil powers are setting out to do, is to demoralize us, because it feels like we're not getting anywhere. But I just think it's just going to take, this stuff takes a while in development, and I think we just have to kind of be patient.
Well, I'll tell you, they are implementing all sorts of interesting stuff into these games. And
I was gonna say, I think we should honestly just start paying attention more to indie games because, like, I've been playing like some indie games and they've all been fun, like agenda free, just dumb fun bullshit, you know, like just fun. And I think that's what we should be paying attention to. Like everyone says, vote for your wallet. And honestly, like, don't get me wrong, there's some indie games that are super duper woke and they're being like heckled to be woke and everything, but there are some other ones that are just dumb shit fun.
You know, I wanted to go into this. Okay, I'll tell you what. That actually will spur off into this next conversation here because we'll talk about the trigger warnings tomorrow. Because the trigger warning thing is just insane. But I saw this post the other day. Well, let's say.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll tell you what.
Let's
actually do the trigger warning thing real quick because the trigger warning thing is a mess. And then we'll get to this other side of this conversation. Okay, there's a game called Life is Strange Double Exposure that is out. It got a 9 from IGN, and here it is right here. Pretty, it says Life is Strange Double Exposure is a worthy sequel to a game that captured the hearts and minds of millions of people back in 2015. Yeah, Life is Strange was big. The writing is great. The music is excellent. The cinematography and acting are top notch. And Max's new powers are a fun and intuitive fit for its murder mystery structure. Okay, well, something else that's really interesting that they added to this game is trigger warnings. Thanks to Packer Girl over on X for this. And this is unbelievable that this is real. There's a transphobia warning in the game that you can turn it on, and it enables warnings before mentions of transphobia occur. No depictions of transphobia occur. If enabled, warnings will appear at the top right-hand side of the screen before the content appears. But that's not it. There's also other trigger warnings, including a blood warning, violence warning, suicide warning, abuse warning, drug warning, sex warning, and transphobia warning. And this is where we're at, Flash. What are your thoughts on that, buddy?
Is that why the creator of that game was getting attacked? I read something about the person who made that game was getting railroaded because I'm pretty sure the creator of that game is like kind of, stereotypically woke. And I saw something about it. I couldn't find the origins. That's so that there's transphobia in that game. What is the transphobic content?
That's a great question. I don't know, but I'm very curious because, hey, I don't want I certainly don't want anybody triggered, but the idea that these are trigger warnings, and once again,
drug triggers.
This is an M-rated game.
You should. What do you find an M-rated game for? You need trigger warnings. You shouldn't need them in general, but.
All right, here's my question for you guys, actually, about this stuff. Because I just booted up a game yesterday, Quidditch Champions for the first time. And there was like a whole seizure warning, epilepsy. And I feel like all these trigger warnings have actually stemmed from that type of trigger warning. And it's like, I understand because it's like a health thing that people can actually have seizures from. But like, do we really need to like do all these trigger warnings for like a tiny little percentage of the world because now we're in this position? And I don't want to be a dickhead and be like, well, we shouldn't put trigger warnings in because it might actually affect someone who has a seizure. And that's like not like a choice, that's not like, oh my God, transphobia. So it's like, where do we go? Like, do we really need trigger warnings?
Can I definitely feel like I'm pretty well equipped to talk about this. So my son actually, if he sees blood on certain things, he has actually a physical reaction. Like he actually will like feel faint, and he has fainted, and he hates it. He's a teenager. But he has also learned ways to cope with it because I could have him pulled out of class every time he sees anything gross, but he doesn't want to live his life dealing, having to always just be pulled out because you're not going to always have an exit strategy, right? So he's literally worked really hard at this and learning ways to trick his brain because it is
responsibility.
Yeah, well, and there are things you can do where you actually like concentrate on your senses. You're like, okay, what's something that I can touch, what's something that I can see, what's something I can smell, and you can stop your brain from having that reaction. So there are people that actually do like suffer with this stuff, and that it's hard to control. But I don't want to coddle him and just, like have him pulled out of every situation he ever faces, and he doesn't want that either. And I think that like these trigger warnings, again, it's really producing weak people who don't ever learn how to cope with reality, and it's like keeping people from actually becoming adults. And I think the seizure thing is different. I think that is in a different category. Life isn't black and white where we can like outlaw everything and, whatever. I think there are some cases where maybe you need trigger warnings, but like clearly this is completely over the top. People have got to learn how to have differing opinions and not falling to the ground if like, oh, how dare somebody say something that's transphobic? Well, learn how to deal with it. Like you can't just always get your environment exactly how you want it. It's a terrible... I hate that.
Yeah, and also like the maturity levels of the games. That should be a huge indicator of if you should be able to play it or not. I even like look at like Hogwarts Legacy and one of the Star Wars games where they changed their arachnophobia settings and everything. It's like, do we really need these? And then somebody in the chat was like, oh, they do these trigger warnings so they don't get sued, like for epilepsy and seizures. And it's like, oh, well, that's also true. But maybe that should be like in the credits or something, or like somewhere, not right at this when you boot up the game. So I don't know. I think you're right, Des. We're just coddling people.
I think there's definitely a level of coddling when it comes to this, because there are, like, you can wrap your kid up in bubble wrap all day long, but they're going to fall. They're going to fall, and they have to learn how to deal with real life, because
you have to have some exposure to learn how to deal with these triggers, So yeah, I mean,
so my wife's a teacher, and she said that there are parents who are starting to give their kids in elementary school mental health days where they pull their kids out of school. And I was like, that's the only job these kids have, is to go to school. And their parents are coddling them so much that, oh, well, it's okay. It's okay. You can come, you can take a rest day. It's like, shut up and get your ass, go to school. And we're going to, this is the only requirement you have. Like, that goes back to, like, I get it. School is tough, but you're not always going to be able to coddle. And when it comes to, these trigger warnings that we're talking about,
yeah.
If someone's going to have a seizure or something, right? I get it. Kind of, right? But at the same time, you know what you're getting into when it comes to these games, right? If there's some sort of warning, like the idea that there's a transphobia warning, what's somebody going to do? Like, go on Twitter and complain about it? They're going to go,
I really want to know what that transphobic content is.
Me too. Maybe we should put a trigger warning at the start of our show, Blabs.
Honestly, I get annoyed when people even put like trigger warnings on tweets. Like I saw somebody rant about that recently. I get annoyed with that too. Like I think all those kind of trigger warnings are like meant to worry about your feelings. I think they all need to go. I understand. Like, even though like my son's thing, there is a medical word for it, but like, even though he has that doesn't stop him from playing games or watching TV shows or anything like that. It just, if it's something comes up and he feels it, which is it's not that common, but it does happen sometimes. He's just, you have to be exposed to it so you know how to handle it,
Well,
this is rocket science.
We actually do have a trigger warning every day for the show. We just don't play it.
You are racist.
There it is.
Good point. Good point. Well, it always comes back to the old fifis, right? How are you feeling? And I'll say that, I actually need to pull that up. I want to look at those trigger warnings one more time, because that is, let me pull those up really fast from this game. So here's the thing about this, which is interesting. When it comes to the one for like epilepsy, right? That has to do with a physical reaction. These are just things that happen in the game, right? I don't know. The whole thing just
sex warning.
Yeah.
In a mature game.
That's where we're at. Well, go pick up that game. I'm sure everyone's going to really love it.
I want to turn all the trigger warnings on and play it.
Yep. All right. I'll tell you what, let's end on a lighter note. We can talk about the man boxer tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
That'll be a good election day topic.
Yeah. I triggered, man.
All right. I saw this post the other day and it really got me thinking. It says games from 1993. And Flash, I'm sure you have a relationship with a lot of these games, whether it's NBA
I played
Jam.
just about every game on there.
Right.
And there's so many bangers on there, man. So many great classic games. Mega Man X, Street Fighter, Jungle Strike, Phantasy Star, Zelda, Aladdin's on there, Sonic CD, Secret of Mana, Lunar, Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, these are some bangers, man.
Same year.
Yeah, and you look back in this and you go, man. I said this before. I said this on the tweet. It says I have a relationship, like in memory with many of these games. Right. I was 12 years old in 1993. Blabs was not born yet. I was 12, and I remember playing many of these games. Des, did you play any of these?
Doom is on.
Oh yeah, I was 11, so yeah, I played a bunch of those.
Okay, so you're really familiar with a lot of these games along here. There's some banger. It's banger after banger. I mean, Gunstar Heroes, Shadowrun, Raiden, Ridge Racer. Like these are some Cool Spot. Even was great. But I got to thinking about
threw him in the garbage.
What's that?
7 Up threw him in the garbage.
Yeah, I grew up. So I said I was 12 in 1993, and I have memories of these games. My daughter's 12 now, and the only game she'll probably remember from 2024 is Minecraft. And that was released in 2011. So I'm not sure if this is a testament of how good games or how good we had it in 1993 or the state of video games in 2024. I may do a deep dive later. And I don't know if it's a statement of today's games are that bad, because once again, Minecraft is a game that's played like for kids, right? And this game has been out for 13 years now. It's obviously a multi-billion-dollar, franchise. She's not into Fortnite, and I think I played like literally every single one of these games along the way. Whereas I feel like she only plays 1 or 2 or maybe 3 games. And when she looks back and she's 43 years old, will she be able to go down the list of games released in 2024 and be like, yeah, I remember all those? And I think there's a larger conversation to be had here when it comes to. Maybe it was the length of these games, the ability to, pop around from game to game, whereas here you have to be totally invested into it. Whereas, today's games they're very story driven or these larger franchises. I don't know. You guys kind of know where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Des, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that was something I was thinking about. It's like the games now just seem so huge and such an investment, and they're so expensive, and there's expansions. They're all encompassing.
Games back then could cost up to like $100 for the cartridge. Final Fantasy 3 was $100. AKA Final Fantasy 6.
Well, you could also rent them though. I mean, a lot of those games I rented. And you could beat them in a weekend if you worked really hard at it.
People forget that those cart games were like $100 sometimes. People do forget that.
The most expensive game I ever bought was Super Metroid, which was 32 megs. I remember that. 32 megs of power.
It's 32 megs of power.
Right. And it's, Des, you brought up a really good point. Like the idea that you can go rent these games. I only owned a handful of these games, but I rented a ton of them. So you get just enough. Yeah. And man, that's right. Yeah, like I own Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario All-Stars. I owned a handful of these games, but most of these I played much, through rentals and stuff. So that's actually a really interesting point there, Des. Blabs, have you played any of these games here?
I'm actually trying. I was actually looking before. I don't think I've ever, besides Castlevania, that you made me play. I don't know if that's the same one though.
Yeah. Man, Rocket Knight Adventures is awesome. You ever played NBA Jam, Blabs?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, we got it. All right. Well, anyways.
Listen, I played stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was my window as a kid. Which, by the way, peak.
Yeah.
Like EA games back in the early 2000s actually slapped. And now it's like, look how they massacred everything.
Yeah.
Remember the Madden games, the first ones, with the ambulance would come out on the field and run you over?
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah, that was great stuff. Nowadays they don't like to have fun.
When it comes to that. Now. Remember, was it Mutant Football League?
Yep, Mutant League Football. Yep.
Where's that bid? You would think they would put that out, bring that back.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. They brought that back about a half a decade ago.
They did?
They did. Yeah. It just didn't get the pub. It wasn't an EA game. They brought it back as like not Mutant League Football, but Mutant Football League. You know, it was just enough to change it. And they brought it back a few years ago, and it was fun, very fun. It played like you were playing on the Genesis.
That's great.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun stuff. Then once again, it goes through indie games. So it's always the indie stuff. So
I wish they would do more stuff like that. EA did do something cool a few years ago when they redid NHL 94, but used like current league rosters. Like that was fantastic. I wish they would do more shit like that. Like, why not? It cannot be that expensive to make something like that. Why wouldn't you do a Madden in 16-bit? Like, go back and do like a Madden 99 and just use upgraded stuff. It's so fun to have like the ambulances running you over again and shit.
I was watching a documentary about a little 20-minute mini doc from Wrestling with Gaming about NBA Jam over the weekend. I always like watching that stuff, just the history of these things, see if there's anything that I don't know. They rebooted NBA Jam, which is like one of my favorite games ever.
Oh, yeah, I love NBA Jam.
The reboot was spectacular. That was in 2010, and they haven't rebooted it since, right? But I think if they made it like they released it and had annual updates to it and treated it like a subscription service, I would totally buy that. And if paid $5 a month, whatever it is for the rosters to be updated, I would totally be on board with that. The problem is that apparently the reboot sold less than 50,000 copies. So there wasn't there wasn't a market for it. That's apparently what they said. So that's why we haven't seen another NBA Jam. But
I wonder how well the arcade 1-up sold. I have the little countercade. It was like $100.
Oh yeah. The arcade 1-up did pretty well. I saw a no subscription service. Like, here's the thing. If it comes down to like a great game, I'll support it. I have no problem with that. Like, I get NBA Jam sitting over here. I can play online. I get updated rosters. If I was able to do that with a modern sports game instead of buying the same game every year, I would much rather support it monthly and get updates on stats and get updated on injuries or whatever it may be, roster changes from trades. I would love that. I think that'd be really, really fun, especially when it comes to like arcade style sports games. I love that shit. So, and what happened to arcade style sports games? They're so good. So good.
And they're so much fun, man. NFL Blitz. God, that's a great time. I remember playing that in the arcade all the time.
Yep. Great stuff. All right. I'll tell you, that's a great place to wrap. Let us know your thoughts down there. We got some support here, and we appreciate it. Now, with that said, we got a lot of support, which is awesome. We're going to read every single one of them, but we always like to allow our guests to say au revoir if they like to go. So Flash, if you'd like to roll, and Des, if you'd like to roll, you're more than welcome. Or if you want to stick, you're more than welcome too. But we'd like to give you guys an out. So Flash, you want to roll out and get some videos done?
Yeah, I got to work on something, so I'm going to take the opportunity to go.
Sounds
great
good,
episode.
Buddy. Appreciate you, buddy. We'll see you next Monday. Okay. Hopefully we spoil the country.
Yeah. Are you going to do the election thing tomorrow?
Probably not. We talked about it. Blabs is shaking her head no. I don't know. I don't think it'd be a good idea. It doesn't really fit with the channel as much as people think we're super political. We're not. So, but I may appear on Jeremy's stream. Jeremy's doing like a 12-hour stream, but even though he hasn't asked me, I may crash it. So we'll see. So, all right, buddy. We'll catch you later.
Vote, everybody. Vote Trump.
Thanks, Flash. Appreciate you. Des, you want to roll or you want to stick for a little bit?
I'll stick around.
All right, let's get to some support. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. I'll start off with Commodore fans saying in the 80s and 90s, we loaned games amongst friends. This is true. Excellent point. Yeah, it's something that I didn't really think about. And Des brought that up, the idea of the rentals and the loaning for sure. Spawn Freak says, just a thought, Craig, play some Nintendo Switch games online with your daughter. Show her what quality is. Oh, I've definitely showed her a lot of the Nintendo Switch online games. But I don't know, like, it won't resonate with her, and they don't resonate with her as much as like something like Minecraft does. She spends way more time on Minecraft than she does on the old school games. But Kane's Brain says, the only way to legally play Illusion of Gaia is SNES cartridge emulation. Wow, is that true? You can only play it through emulation. That's crazy. Suffer So Proud says, and the you're muted, Craig, consecutive vest streak, no vest, lives on. Love you, bro. Thanks. Appreciate that. Mercenary says, I have some of these still in a box. Wow. That's crazy. You're rich, Mercenary. Congratulations. You can turn around and sell those for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. Shano Max says, mature TV shows also have warnings for smoking. And I always make a joke to my wife about it. It's so stupid. All right, Blabs, I'm going to let you keep on rolling here. What do we got?
Okie dokie. Let me go from the very top so I don't ignore them. All right. Kane's Brains is hard news for hard dudes. Okay. Gaming Baker says, wow, Craig, you are such a dirty dog. I cannot believe you support the murder of Peanut. Suna Soul Silver says, yeah, blue cheese on burgers are great. There you go, Des. Rowboat says, real Americans get all the fixins. Miner says, I love me some blue cheese mushroom burger. I love mushrooms.
Woohoo!
I appreciate that this has become a topic of conversation. Blue
This
cheese
is
on your
important
burger.
conversation.
Yeah.
Food. 60 watts says, Lady D, if we didn't like you, then we wouldn't be mad at you. We just ignore you, and that is the worst. I'm trying to say we like you.
Aw, thanks.
Benjamin says, emo goth fun, talking piercings, makeup, band shirts, and posters, spiked dollar, dog collar, hair dyes, black pudding, and caramelized onion on the burger, please. Thanks, Benjamin. Mercenary says, anyone want to play the game Squirrel with a Gun? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's kind of okay. It's not that great, sadly. Rowboat says, do know how to give memberships, paying it forward.
Thank you very much.
Godzilla's Greaser says, hey, Flash, what did you do for Godzilla Day yesterday? Sorry you missed this.
No,
I'm sure you
sorry.
probably watched something. Nash Thunderclap says, do you think whoever reported the owner, they may have claimed that they had...
Oh, sorry, my fault. I thought I could put that on the bottom.
Craig. Anyway, they have claimed that he had weapons in the house. That may have extended the reach. So possibly...
Still sucks. Still terrible.
It's still an awful thing to do.
Yeah.
Don't take away the guns.
And if that's even worse, like this person was reporting for something else and they have murder on their hands too. The Hijabi Gamer says, no, they could have isolated the squirrel to check for rabies. They didn't need to end it. I've seen vets talking about this. It wasn't necessary. That's my point. They didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
Tanya says, apparently there were 8 cops and none of them had any body cameras on them and also wore full body gear. Weird, right?
Joke.
No cameras? Norm says, I've been away in rural Hungary for 2 weeks. How is everyone? What's going on? Listen, go back to Hungary.
Norm, go, leave, go back home, go.
Save yourself. Kataka says, PETA also goes out of the way to also make farmers look like bad people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
100%.
awful. They twist everything. Don't get me started. Robo, 2-bedroom, 1 bath for $1,100 per month. You're crazy. Kite the Twin Blade says, shockingly, Craig pronounced Best Girl's name correctly.
Let's go.
Jaleel says, it's weird. These sex-positive degens couldn't be more sexless. Nathan says, the only surprise is Beast in investigation and found something wrong and decided to take action. Too little too late, in my opinion. Mastagawa says, it's not about removing sexuality. Deviant sexuality is allowed and promoted. It's all about removing real women and normalcy. We live in a feminazi world. Feminism is merely about turning women into lesser men. Thank you. Inspector says, Space Marine 2 is peak. Me. Ejaculus erectus with me. My friend, LOL. Me. Brother, where is Flaccidus? My friend, Flaccidus fell during our last quest, brother. Me. He was too soft for this world.
Inspector, what is happening?
Space Marine. Anyway, 60 watts. This company's got to start covering the butts. Sweet Baby Inc. seems adept at finding and exploiting backdoors. Mercenary says, hi, TDS. I hope you, Savvy, Kirsch, Smash, and Razorfist can deep dive into some of this. I bet it all leads back to one gorge of George Soros. Follow the money. Possibly.
Yep.
Libra Wolf says, apparently Powell Group is involved with Night Dive Studio. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. Norm says, who would have thought that Craig would be the final boss of the Sweet Baby Inc. saga?
Yeah, that's funny.
Mastagawa says, Sweet Baby Inc. Screw Attack Connection explains Craig abnormal fixation with Jake Gyllenhaal. Total homo!
Hey, Des, you seen Jake Gyllenhaal's little abs? Have you seen them? Have you seen them in the Roadhouse movie?
You could wash clothing on them.
Hold on. Keep going, Blabs.
Okay, Matthew says, 9 out of 10 score on IGN. I can't believe DB Sparking Zero got a lower score. Thank you, Matthew. And Nathan says, I tried pulling up Veilguard on Steam charts over the weekend, and I kept getting an error. I can pull up the other games, no problem. It was probably overwhelmed or something. I'm assuming. Matthew says this will win Game of the Year hands down. The Grateful Gamer says, Craig, you should play the DA coming out. Siel edit.
Dragon Age? What? No. The Kyle edit. Yeah.
Last Toxic Male says Veilguard is just a Corinne Bush, aka Corny Bush, self-insert fanfic posing as a Dragon Age game. Change my mind.
Hear that. Hey, so check this out, Des. Listen, people give me a hard time about this. This is God bod here. Look at Jake Gyllenhaal, his abs. Boof. Like, come on. It's ridiculous.
I'm a married woman now, Craig. I can't comment on this.
I'm a married man. I can talk about his abs. They're great abs.
You can be like, that's nice.
Yeah, it's fine. My husband's are better, though.
Really?
He's got some good abs.
Wow.
He's in really good shape.
Good for you, Des. Way to go.
Good for you, Des. Congratulations. That makes one of us.
Bulk, squat, and thrust. Sargon thinks woke won, and because it won, they don't have to violently push the message now. Kane's Brain says, you all think things will get even more stupid in the writing after the election? Depending. Wizard Man says, hey, check out Exodus. It's made by Exodus, sorry. It's made by ex-BioWare devs. Thank you. Mercenary says, got a big back catalog to go through. Wallet closed. Commodore fan says, woke is why I've been mostly playing Nintendo like Mario and NDPC without the woke crap. Vote with your wallet and common sense on November 5th. Normal men tomorrow. Master Gawa says, may the Vatican's strongest soldier loose purify the AAA gaming industry. That Asman clip is just liberalism explained by a mental midget. Sorry, Kershaw. That's funny. And Willing Their Life with Brian came in with $20 and said, I would pay a subscription for NFL Blitz and NBA Jam, but Tim Kitzrow has to be the voice.
Oh, that'd be spectacular. God, I'm on board with you.
Jester says, renting games on Friday was sweet. I have a blog, Friday Night Rentals, talking about games I tried to beat in a weekend. Need to post there again.
Love it, Jester.
Over on Locals, Feltsteph sent $1 tip saying Craig's internet is being sabotaged by SBI. Thanks.
They know. Over on Rumble, guys, thank you very much for your support. Frost Lord says, RCT3 is the best of the series. Blabs, how have you not played it? Blabs hasn't played a lot. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3?
Yes, I know. I knew what he said RTC meant for. Thank you. I just saying like the first one, will be the best one. Sorry. OG.
Jared says, what's up, everyone? Imagine if the owners of the Squirrel find out that there's a game called Squirrel with a Gun and they play it in the memory of for the memory of Peanut. Yeah, that'd be great. Marlon says, it's all about erasing lines. If you remove the idea of man and woman, it's an easy step to say age is just a number. Map was a term for a reason. Yeah. DeBrew that do says our hands are tied. Craig must be canceled. That's right. Come at me, bro. Video Gamer says just wanted to say that the take on record of Lotus Ward, that the game that I couldn't pronounce, was odd. I'm not seeing how the change is for androgyny. And you can still see the boobs underline in the shirt. Still dumb they had to change it, though. The game is awesome. Listen, I think that's the big thing. It's dumb that they had to change it to begin with. Why? Like, okay, you can see that's fine. But the fact that they had one product, the game is still out, and they felt the need to change it, that's stupid. Dumb. Angry Salt Shaker says, if all goes well, as we can hope, Mass Effect 4 will never see the light of day, and EA will shut down BioWare before that abomination can release. Delta says, well, Craig, sorry to hear you have an incestuous relationship with Kim Belair. This all gives Game of Thrones vibes, and you're the banished uncle who formed a merry band of bandits. Keep on attacking their trade routes. Thank you, Delta. Appreciate that. John says, Craig hit the solid snake death. Craig hit the solid snake death scream. No, thank you, John. God damn it, I want a name. Came in with a $25 direct donation. Says, I know. I have known you since I first watched the original Samus versus Boba Fett death battle, to when I found you a few months back. But you're secretly working for Sweet Baby. You're tearing me apart, Craig. It was said that you would destroy the woke, not join them.
Do you get that reference?
It was said that you would destroy, not join.
Yes.
I would imagine that's a reference from Lord of the Rings.
No, you fuckwit. Star Wars.
No, Blabs, I've seen Star Wars one time.
God, get good.
What do you want?
It was said that you would like destroy the Sith, not join them. And here you are going, that's Lord of the Rings. It's second breakfast
Which
time.
one is that from?
Revenge of the Sith, episode 3, 2005.
Seen it one time in 2005. It's been 20 years, Blabs. What do you want from me?
Get good. I like how Des just sitting here. Like, I feel like she's gonna get popcorn soon. Like,
Yeah. Kyle says if SBI ever comes on the show, the Valley of Bowser must be cute as they're meeting the final boss, Craig. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. All right, Des, is there anything you want to talk about before we say au revoir? You've hung out the entire show. You've been great.
Oh, I've had a great time.
Right.
Come give Kick a try.
Yeah.
Really.
Where can everybody find you?
The evil place that everybody likes to think it is. I am on YouTube as well, and Lady Desiree. People mistake it as Lady Desire all the time. Not Lady Desire.
You should lean into that.
Trust me, I am very well aware that if I leaned into that, I probably would have a much, much bigger following.
You should totally do it. Just put on like some Sailor Moon costume, start playing some Sailor Moon music, and just be like, "It's me, Lady Desire."
It's me. Yeah, Lady Desire.
I chose that name when I created my Xbox account. And I was playing Halo, and I thought like, okay, because my name is Desiree. I thought like Lady Desiree, it sounds like regal, and that's what I was going. And then of course, like I get on my headset, and it's like some 13-year-old boy, ooh, Lady Desire. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that was just all the time. But I kind of just like, well, it's my name now, so I kept it. But it's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, so I'm on Kick Lady Desiree. I'm on YouTube's Lady Desiree, Twitter. I tweet a lot of stuff, a lot of political stuff, and Instagram and TikTok.
All right. Well, look, make sure you guys go follow Des over there, Lady Desire, if you will. If you desire her to play some tunes, you can definitely find that. All right, do me a favor, open up a new tab, head over to therealgameawards.com, and you can become a member. Use promo code as you see on the bottom of the screen, Alyssa or Gaming, for $5 off your voting membership. You can go over here, click the updates, and you can find everything you want to nominate down here, including worst journalist, best value, best early access game. We've got all the categories. They're going to be all ready to go, all 25 of them by the 6th. So that'll be on Wednesday. They'll all be available. So head on over there and become a voting member. We'd greatly appreciate that. With that said, guys, have a great rest of your day. We know the next couple days are going to be absolutely insanity. So, hey, keep it calm, be a normal man, and just chill and relax. Remember, there's bigger things at play here. So with that said, have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.